pain at 4 weeks. Most patients achieve remission at 1 year, and some patients saw visible healing of the intestinal lining. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today.
Is KCAL News Mornings.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, July 26th. Welcome to KCAL News at 6 on CBS, also streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. I'm Rachel Kim.
And I'm Amanda Starantino.
Let's start with the Metro D line reopening this morning after more than 2 months.
It was closed to lay the groundwork for one of the biggest expansions. KCAL News reporter Elise Martinez live at Union Station for us this morning. Hey, good morning, Elise. What does this mean for LA commuters?
It means a lot, and this is one of the busiest routes for Metro. And after 70 days, the D line, also known as the Purple Line, is back up and running. Though Union Station pretty quiet this morning. The route between downtown LA and Koreatown, one of Metro's busiest, with more than 65,000 daily boardings on average. That's according to Metro. Now, Metro paused service back on May 17th to finish some critical connections between Union Station and Koreatown. Now, this is the first phase of a rail expansion project beneath Wilshire Boulevard. The budget, $3.7 billion. They're adding 3 stations at Wilshire La Brea, Wilshire Fairfax, and Wilshire La Cienega to connect downtown Los Angeles to the west side. Now, this phase is 98% complete. It is expected to open later in 2025. Now, this project first broke ground back in 2014, and Metro says this will change the way people are able to move across the city. Of course, all of this construction is the Metro's push to perfect public transit ahead of the big 2028 Olympics. Now, D-line trains will run every 12 minutes from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then after that, every 20 minutes this weekend. So one is probably leaving right now. But again, good news, the D-line is back open. Going to send it back to you.
Great news for commuters. Elise, thank you so much. Passengers on board a flight out of Burbank experienced a dramatic mid-air drop on their way to Vegas. According to the FAA, it was an emergency maneuver to avoid colliding with another aircraft. Flight tracking data shows the plane fell more than 400 feet, throwing some passengers out of their seats and injuring 2 flight attendants.
But it just felt like you were on like a free fall roller coaster. Once you got the plane, once again stabilized, he hopped on and said, it appears we almost collided with another plane. I don't think that they had air traffic control.
Well, the flight continued to Vegas yesterday, landing without any problems. Now, Southwest is working with the FAA to investigate that incident, telling KCAL News the crew responded to 2 onboard traffic alerts while climbing out of Burbank.
Meanwhile, we now know the date for when Southwest Airlines will end its open seating policy. Assigned seats for passengers will start January 27th. Southwest first announced the change last summer, going to assigned seating for the first time in the low-fare airline's history. So the tickets for assigned seats can be purchased beginning next week. Earlier this year, Southwest announced it would also no longer offer 2 free checked bags to many of its customers.
The LA County Sheriff says a second grenade is missing from the scene of a deadly blast that killed 3 arson and explosives detectives. KCAL's Lauren Posen has the search efforts now underway to find that device.
The fact is, right now, there's a second grenade that we're not 100% sure where it's at.
A week after, detectives Joshua Kelly Eklund, William Osborne, and Victor Lemus were killed when they were handling 2 military-grade grenades. The Los Angeles County Sheriff says one of the devices is missing.
An extensive search of the entire training facility perimeter was conducted. This included X-raying all Special Enforcement Bureau vehicles, a grid search from the blast site, and surrounding areas.
The ATF's National Response Team also joined in the extensive search with K-9 teams and explosive specialists.
We've meticulously examined a radius of over 400 feet from the blast seat multiple times. These are just a few of the many steps that we've taken over this last week.
Investigators say a homeowner in Santa Monica was cleaning out the garage last Thursday and found items that look like grenades. ATF Special Agent Kenny Cooper says deputies took the grenades into custody and brought the 2 grenades into the training facility in East Los Angeles, thinking they were harmless after examining them.
One of the grenades detonated at the Biscalous Training Center, fatally injuring the 3 detectives. The investigation is ongoing to the status of the second grenade.
The sheriff says from now on, the bomb squad will treat all explosive devices as if they're live and disposed of accordingly. It's just one of the many changes he says the arson and explosives department will undergo in the wake of this tragedy.
We're going to turn this upside down. We're going to look at everything we could. Why? Because we need to know what happened. We owe it to the families, and for God's sake, I never want this to happen again.
Reporting in downtown Los Angeles, Lauren Posen, KCAL News.
And there was a hero salute yesterday for the 3 LA County Sheriff's deputies who lost their lives in the explosion at that training facility. Fellow deputies and other law enforcement gathered outside the county medical examiner's facility in Boyle Heights for this procession to a mortuary in Covina. Now, the blast killed detectives Joshua Kelly Eklund, Victor Lemus, and William Osborne.
A sex trafficking and money laundering raid at a home in Tahunga with ties to an alleged cult leader at the center of a Netflix documentary.
Attention, attention, anyone inside. This is the Alani Police Department. Come to the front door with your hands up. We have a search warrant.
A woman who was formerly involved with the group says the man at the center of the case, Robert Shin, recruited dancers from TikTok and exploited them for financial gain. The raided property is described as their quote-unquote compound.
This is where they hold their services, their church services. This is where they hold meetings. It's being investigated for a lot of different crimes: human trafficking, sex trafficking, COVID fraud, tax fraud, and I'm sure there are more that I'm not aware of.
While several people were detained during the search, it's unclear if anyone was arrested.
California, one of several states where federal funding for vaccines has been slashed by the Department of Health and Human Services. Officials with those programs say losing millions of dollars earmarked for state and local programs will likely force cuts to staffing and services and potentially lead to lower vaccination rates. Some states like California received less money this year than what they received pre-pandemic. The Trump administration says it's focused on budget cuts. Public health advocates say the funding cuts are part of an overall pattern and efforts to dismantle the agency's vaccination infrastructure.
A judge has overturned an LA Unified District policy limiting charter schools' access to public campuses. The policy would have blocked charters from using nearly 350 school sites. It was set to take effect in 3 weeks and faced legal challenges from charter advocates who argued it violated state law. The policy targeted campuses with special programs. Charter school supporters celebrated the decision. The district has not decided whether to appeal.
Cal State University is still facing a massive budget shortfall despite tuition hikes and spending cuts. The nation's largest public 4-year university system says it's short $2.3 billion. Tuition was 6% last year. The system cut more than 1,200 jobs. Now, Cal State leaders say even more cuts may be coming, including fewer classes and support services, unless the state steps in. Well, after January's devastating Eaton fire, unique counseling sessions are helping kids process trauma through art.
Yeah, the sessions are underway at the Pasadena Public Library. The program is in partnership with licensed therapists who guide children and families through activities that use creative expression to navigate the emotional aftermath of the fires.
The mental health resources and coping techniques that the Maple Counselor Art Therapists are offering to our community are just so important and so necessary, and we're glad to be partnering with them.
Classes are held every Friday from 4 to 5 at the Santa Catalina Library branch.
If you have questions about rebuilding efforts or a story tip, reach out to us by visiting kcalnews.com/rebuildingsocal or by using the QR code on your screen.
All right, 6:08 on your Saturday morning. Coming up, the case of the vanishing crosswalks that appear and then disappear in a part of town plagued